welcome to my Flosstube channel, Thread the Needle. My name is Vani and I live in Newfoundland, Canada. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If this is your first time or you're very new to my channel, welcome. So glad you could join me. This is where I share my love for full coverage cross stitch. I have been stitching full coverage cross stitch exclusively since I picked it back up in 2008. Prior to that, it was just on and off during my younger years. But since that 2008 time when I really picked it back up, I haven't stopped. I just love cross stitch, needlework, and I just love full coverage. As you can see from the projects displayed behind me, these are some of my whips that I have on the go, and I just love it. Love all the detail it brings out, and it just looks so perfect. I just love it. For those of you who are returning time and time again, thank you so much. I'm so glad you can come and spend some time with me, and let's dive right in. So let's start with a quick update. I was supposed to have gone to a retreat since the last video, but unfortunately that got postponed due to Mother Nature. The retreat was to be held on an island just off the coast of my island, and we were supposed to stay in a couple of bed and breakfasts, and it was going to be so much fun. And then Hurricane Ian, I think that was the one right before Fiona. I'm not sure. It was a hurricane. It was supposed to cause a lot of damage. Now, whatever way the freak of nature worked, it did not cross my easternmost side of the island. It went more up the southern western side of the island of Newfoundland and Labrador and caused so much damage there. Just reading all the reports, and I'm just so thankful that everyone is okay. A lot of displaced people, a lot of homes damaged, and just the coastline has changed. And I know the same is for all the Atlantic provinces that were hit by the hurricane. So I'm just thankful that everyone's okay. And yeah, so while we probably could have had the hurricane, I'm sure there are reasons, obviously because of the ferry crossing to get to the other little island called Bell Island off of the coast of Newfoundland. I think the main concern was the ocean, but it was canceled at least 2 days before the hurricane actually hit. And I can understand the lady who's organizing it. It's a hard decision to make. You want to get everybody together, but then you want everyone to be safe. That's, you know, the first and foremost. But they had to make the decision to postpone. It's going to be later on this month. And so now I have something else to look forward to. So I put it behind me, so I didn't get to spend some time at the retreat. That's okay. I was hoping to give you some update on that, but instead I have a different kind of update on that retreat. It is upcoming. Then my tablet decided to go wonky on me for a little bit. I don't know if the battery is getting weak, and usually, because I use Pattern Keeper, for those of you who don't know, that is like the #1 stitching tool a full coverage cross stitcher could have. I have been asked to do a tutorial on how to use Pattern Keeper. I have not yet, but it is basically a chart reading app, and it helps you stitch. It will highlight all the stitches in a particular symbol, and you can follow it. You can use it if you're a parker. You can use it if you are a cross-country stitcher. You can use it if you stitch in diagonals. Any which way that you stitch, you can use this app, and it is my best friend when it comes to stitching. And I was so devastated that it just wasn't working really well. The tablet, excuse me, the tablet would turn on and off, and usually I can work until the tablet is right down to 3% sometimes. And you know how it is when you're stitching, you're in a groove, and you don't want to put it away and go find the charger for that tablet. You keep stitching until the very last moment, and usually it's fine and it'll die, and then I'll charge it up for the next one. But this time I still had like 20%, and it kept blinking on and off. I couldn't figure out why. And so I had to put it away, and we actually started shopping for another tablet because my husband knows a tablet is near and dear to me when it comes to my stitching. So we actually, you know, priced up a new tablet, and we're like, you know what, let's just get it to full charge. I haven't actually had a chance to test it yet since full charging it, but fingers crossed it works okay. If not, we have a plan of which one we want to buy. Sorry, just had to pause the video there. I had a tickle in my throat. I didn't want to keep coughing in front of you. So yeah. So we do have a backup plan, but fingers crossed that the tablet is fine. So I did get a little bit of stitching in, but with everything that was happening with the retreat being canceled, the weather, and then the tablet being wonky, I got a little bit of stitching done, but not so much. So let's start with a piece that I just adore this piece. I'm getting really close to the end of the top row. It's Golden Promises, and it is like one of my favorite pieces lately because it's so fun to work on. And I'm just going to show you the part that I'm working on first before I show you a further away picture of everything that's done. So this is the page that I worked on, and as you can see, I got quite a little bit done on this. I'm very happy with the progress that I made on this one. And I can't even remember, I'm going to be showing you the before picture, of course, but I can't even remember where I was, but I got so much done, and it was such a lovely one. This one has some sparkly Kreinik in it. I don't know if you can tell the shiny bits. You can see some propping up there and there, so I was able to fill in quite a little bit of holes. So here is this is half of it. So as you can tell, once I open up the whole piece, this is almost the full entire top row. Okay, so it starts here and it ends here. So I almost have the full top row complete. How exciting is that? When you get to that kind of progress in a piece, and then it just keeps going and going. I absolutely love this piece, the colors and the fabric count. It's just one of my favorites. It's on 18 count, by the way. 18 count 2 over 1 full cross, and it's my favorite to work on lately. 18 is just easier for me to work on. I enjoy it. Doesn't give me any struggle. After 18 count, I'd say 22. Sometimes 22 can get kind of thick and heavy in confetti heavy areas. Leann, a fellow stitching friend of mine who also has a Flosstube, she does a lot on 20 count, and she recommended 20 ones. So I was like, maybe I'll give that a try. But 18 at the moment is my all-time favorite. I have a few projects in 18, but quite a lot more in 22, only because of the size of the projects that I work on, that the complete piece, otherwise I don't have enough wall space. That's just the end of it. I don't have the wall space if I did everything on 18 count, but some pieces I do. Moving on is my mini opening night. This one is also a lovely piece. When this came around in my rotation, it was actually a quick stitch. It didn't take me very long to get in the number of stitches, and I actually went on until I actually finished the diagonal that I was working on, so that worked out really well. So here's where I am at now. So it's still background stitching. It's still a lot of background work, cloud, wispy kind of pieces, but it's still a lot of fun to stitch on. So I was able to fully finish that diagonal there, which worked out great. And I think it's going to be really lovely when it's finally done and I actually get to some of the important pieces in the stitch. So that's a fun one. Now, fortunately, I only have one more to show you, but this is a piece that I'm working on with Leann, and it is our Christmas piece that we started last year for Christmas in July. She's a lot better at remembering to stitch on it every month than I am. So you should check hers out. She's doing a lovely full coverage cross stitch on a stocking, I think. So the hashtag, if you want to follow us on Instagram, is hashtag FC Christmas Sale, which stands for Full Coverage Christmas Sale. And she recently posted an update too, but I'm doing mini Christmas mailbox. And to add more to it, I decided to do it as an ECC, which is an extreme cross country piece, because I've never done that before. That's where you pick one color and stitch it throughout the entire project before you move on to another color. So I'm still on color number 1. So that'll tell you how it's going for me. Granted, I only stitch on it once a month, on the 24th and 25th of every month. And I've skipped a few months because I forgot that it was the 24th and 25th. But I did it this past month. So here's where I'm at. This is the color. It's a really hard color to see, but it's like a light pink. And as you can tell, I'm getting close to the end of the page here. So there's just a little bit left, and that's all that's left in this project for this color. This is a really hard color to see. It's very wrinkly, I know, but check it out. There actually isn't any of this pink color anywhere else in the project. There's nothing down here. I checked. It was just in the sky up above here, and then there's a trail of stitches right here, so I finished that part. So literally, I just have to finish a section like this, and I can move on to the next color, because I'm really looking forward to moving on to the next color because I'm done with the pink. I'm not a fan of extreme cross country. I'll tell you that right now, because my personality and my temperament when it comes to stitching, I need things to move along. I need things to be interesting. I need things to be just more. And this is just not cutting it right now. So I'm very excited to move on to the next color, but I am also determined to stay with my extreme cross-country stitching plan. I do have a question though. How do you decide what color to do next? I think I just picked this at random. I just picked the very first stitch in the upper left-hand corner. So now I'm thinking, what is a good way to do it? Should I then go to the next color, which would be, that stitch right there? Or should I look at the list on Pattern Keeper, and because it tells you how many stitches of each color is in the project. So should I go to the next one that has the most number of stitches, or should I go to the one who has the least number of stitches? I don't know. Tell me what you think. And maybe, it'll give me a little insight on how, if there's any extreme cross-country stitchers out there, advice, please. Most welcome. But I'm trying to decide what color to do next, because I'm at a loss. It's already becoming tedious and I don't want it to. I really want to stick with it. So that's what I have done so far. Moving forward, I hope to have more updates for you. I am still planning on continuing with my Stitch With Me videos, so still keep an eye out for that. And next up, I'm still making plans for my Christmas countdown videos, which I had so much fun doing last year. And in the last video, I asked you all if you had any suggestions for the challenges that I could add. And I got so many great responses. So thank you so much. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And if you have any more suggestions, keep them coming. I'm going to read them all, and I'm going to use the ones that are best suited for me. So thank you for joining me here on today's update. It has been wonderful to spend this time with you, and I look forward to the next time. Have a great stitching time. Bye.